Two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee Time Podcast. It's Thursdays, and you know how we get down. We bring you hot podcast news weekly every Thursday. Join again is my bud Justin Avalos, and we're going to be commentating over some footage that's just been brought to the public's attention, but it's not getting the big news media because it goes against the narrative of what the media wants to produce. You deserve to look at this. You deserve to know about this, and we're going to show it to you. Well, we're not going to show it to you. I will have a link in the description below, and viewer discretion advised because we know about the tragic, I still believe, murder of George Floyd, but there's some body cam footage that came out 2 days ago, and we're going to commentate on it. Now, join me, Justin Avalos. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Um, everyone or me? You can
Hey,
ask about me sometimes.
bro. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just got done working out, as you know. Had to wait on you for this podcast, but it's okay.
Yeah. That's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we don't need to get into right now.
Joking, of course, but let's get serious here. Hey,
All right.
you sent me this body cam footage that was leaked two days ago.
Yes. So I found it through a source, Ben Shapiro. Uh, he hosts the Daily Wire and of course the Ben Shapiro Show, and he had commented on this body cam footage that had been leaked, and showed the video, and showed his commentation on it, and of course sent it to you to get your perspective on it and to see how it would influence what is happening right now and why the mainstream media is not covering it.
So, how I would like to structure this is, I just want to hear your opinion on it first, and I'm not going to let your view differ mine, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and then we'll meet in the middle. How about that?
All right, yeah,
So
that
we've
sounds good.
we've seen a video. Go for
hmm
it. Tell
Yeah.
build
So,
on the video. Tell what you saw, what was happening, and then do your thing. You know how to
okay.
do it.
So of course, everyone pretty much has seen the incident that went viral where the police officer was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, and that's what got all publicity. So the body cam footage actually shows the moments leading up to that point. So it shows an officer, going next to the car, telling him to put his hands on the steering wheel, and Mr. Floyd, his mannerisms seemed like he was under the influence of something. He, was not responding to the commands, like putting his hands on the steering wheel, and he was just over and over just fearing, like he was fearing about getting shot, and the police officer was like, no, we're not going to shoot, we just want your hands up. And the other individuals that were in the car at the time, got out of the vehicle, obeyed the orders of the officers, stood off to the side, and they kept telling Mr. Floyd, hey, stop resisting, just do what they want you to do. So the video continues on, and they're trying, in my opinion, to accommodate him. Like he kept on saying, I'm claustrophobic, this and that. So they were trying to be like, hey, we need you to get in the police car. The reason why is because we need to detain you until we can clear who you are, what's going on, everything like that. You're a witness to this. So right now we just need to hold you, in a spot where we can keep an eye on you. So during the time, like he's really just like, no, I don't want to go in, this and that. I don't feel right. I can't breathe. I'm claustrophobic. So they're like, hey, we'll get you in this car. We'll roll down the windows. We'll be with you the entire time. And the duration of it, he's still resisting a bit. Like I don't want to use that word too strongly because there's a difference between like actively resisting where you're being violent and more just like I don't want to do this. I don't feel comfortable, this and that. So they eventually accommodate him, and then it gets to the point where the video is about to end, and I believe that's when the viral video went out because during the video he's saying, I don't want to be in the car, just let me lay on the ground. So that's kind of where everything kind of picks up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so my for I don't have to repeat. No, I will. So when I was watching the video, what I saw was a man that was approached in his car, and he was
hmm
asked to put his hands on the wheel. He's frantic. Now, some people can view that because the talk screen data has been publicly known that he had methamphetamine in his system and all that. So some people can say that he was influenced, and some
Hmm.
people can say that he was very nervous and just agitated and scared for his life. So the cop repeats, "Put your hands on the wheel." He doesn't do it because he's frantic. So he seems like he's under the influence, and then he applies, and then he's say, "I'm scared. I'm not trying to win. I don't want to do this." They get him out of the car. They're very polite. They're very professional. This is what I
Hmm.
saw in this video. They are extremely professional from start of the body cam footage to the end of the body cam footage. They're trying to put him in the cop car in the back. He's saying that he's claustrophobic. He's saying at the moment where they're just trying to handcuff him and restrain him that he cannot breathe already. So that could,
Hmm.
in my mind, it's like, okay, that's probably a panic attack. You're nervous. He's a black man. You see every day on social media that black people are getting killed by cops. But if you look honestly, everyone gets killed by cops. Not saying that cops target everyone, but if you can find a black person being shot by a cop, you can find a white person, Asian person, Native American. Keep going. So what's weird is he asks because he's like, "I'm claustrophobic. I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to win." So him saying, "I'm not trying to win" is stating that he's not resisting. He's just in a frantic state, which
Hmm.
could be because he's influenced by X factor, whatever it is, by nerves, by emotion, by drug abuse, whatever. So I believe the nervous state could be mistaken for under the influence. Haven't seen the talk screen publicly. I mean the chart. I actually would not even know how to read it anyway. But it was stated that he had drugs in his system. Now, and he's asked to be put on the ground. He's asked to be put on the ground. And as you say, the body cam footage kind of cuts there, and then we see what the 18-year-old girl captured that has haunted millions of Americans and started a riots and campaigns around the world.
Hmm.
Now, what I took from this is there's a few things you can see here. I see a nervous man that's maybe under the influence, but I'm not going to say that he's definitely high or he's inebriated in some sorts that he can't control himself. I'm going to think that he's scared because talk screens, right? They don't
Hmm.
tell you the amount of whatever that was in his system. They just state in the statements that he had drugs in his system. Marijuana, you smoke weed, right? You're gonna have a higher rate of marijuana in your blood at the first day or like the third day than on the 30th day, but it is still detectable, correct?
Yeah.
So you're not high on the 30th day if you haven't been smoking, but it's still in your system. So would they categorize that or label that as being as you having drugs in your system? That's where I question that.
Hmm.
So that's what I was looking at. And then there's a fine line. I like how you said that between resisting arrest and just being scared and not knowing what to do. So I think the cops, like I said in the video, the body cam footage shows a very professional um, approach to Mr. Floyd to calm him down and to assist him. And then from those seconds of what we didn't see in the body cam footage, those lost dark seconds, and to that video from that captured on the phone, what happened? That's what I want to know. Because
Yeah.
he was not complying. He seemed agitated and influenced, but they were being respectful and accommodating to his needs. They didn't put him in the car. He says he was claustrophobic. He's not trying to win. He doesn't want to be in there alone. They said that, hey, look, we'll be with you, man. They put the guns down. The gun was drawn, and then they put it away when he complied with the orders. So he
Hmm.
was applying, but he asked to be on the ground, and they gave that to him. What happened in that dark space that we can't see? You know. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
my opinion on this still stands of I believe that that if I can join both videos that the cops acted in a professional manner, then something escalated into what I still call the murder of Mr. Floyd.
Hmm.
But all this talk about this was premeditated with this body cam footage, it's out the window. So What do you think about that?
Yeah, it definitely changes the narrative, and I think that's why it's not being publicized because media wants you to follow a certain narrative that everything's bad, this and that. But with this body footage, it changes it a lot. Like, because when we first saw this, we just see cops manhandling a black man, doing this,
Mhm.
doing that. But now with this new footage, it's a completely different story. So again, what happened in those dark moments between the cut, essentially? What escalated everything to where he's kneeling on his neck doing this and that? And I feel like with this evidence coming into play and with, them doing the trial and everything like that, it's gonna change a lot of things to where I firmly believe that the cops involved will most likely just face an assault charge and not homicide charge because you believe it's a murder, and I do believe that there was something involved and everything like that. But with the coroner report, it showed that he did not die of asphyxiation; he died of other causes. So to say, oh, he died because the knee on the neck, well, the coroner report reports differently. Of course, maybe it was fabricated or whatever, but this is just what's on paper saying, hey, his knee on his neck did not lead to the death. So that's where it's going to be a very like there's going to be another riot, I feel.
Yeah,
After
I,
yeah, for sure like
dude, I'm just waiting for the gasoline to meet the fire here because the fire has not been put out, and
yeah.
this is just gas to the fire. But I want it to be known when you say corner report, that is the non-independent report
Mhm.
because that's the corner with the police department, but the
Mhm.
family got an independent report stating that asphyxiation was the cause of death. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
saying who's right and who's wrong here. I'm just
Oh
saying
yeah.
now it got it. This is I'm not. I don't want to use the word interesting, but there's more variables in this equation now than we
Mhm.
thought. And I don't think I'm on the record of saying this, but I think I was talking to you, and I know I was talking to Thomas and Cam about this. But when I watched that Joe Rogan podcast with Brett Weinstein, I think it was Brett Weinstein, and he states that we have to be very careful here because everyone is speaking in
Mhm.
absolutes. Like, we saw a murder, we know we saw it. Now, did we? Now with the body cam
Mhm.
footage, that's the question. That's the new variable. I still believe that it's a murder, but I'm not going to not respect the evidence that's put forth here.
Yeah.
And you don't think a jury's going to not respect it or just disregard it and everything? So this is interesting, man. This is the shit that we talk about all the time, like on 101 in our conversations and on this podcast. The media just God, they've really. So when was this footage probably given to the media? It was leaked, but when was it out there? You know?
I'm not entirely sure on the specific. Again, this was leaked, and with the Ben Shapiro, where I found it from, he was saying, this is what they don't want to show because it's going to change the narrative of whatever is going on,
And
and
he's right.
yeah. And another person I follow, I don't know if you know her. Her name is Candace Owens. She's another conservative, African American conservative,
She's a
and
terrible
she's like,
person.
"Oh, you don't like her?
Oh my God. You know what? We're not gonna
No,
get
no, no.
into it.
It's fine. It's fine." But she was saying, I saw this coming 3 years ago because it always happens when like an election comes up, like shit hits the fan that we see this and it gets blown up and then this and that, which I don't completely agree with, but I was just like, that's an interesting take that some people will take with this, that this only started because, or it's only mainstream because an election's coming up with Trump, Biden, all that stuff, which I don't believe that. I think it's just, because of us being COVID, shelter and everything like that, we have more time to pay attention to it and more people are, you know, have nothing else to do except share this story. But again, it's just like it's interesting how even though this evidence is or this footage is out, I wonder if that's going to change the minds of like a lot of people that are like, oh, kill this, defund the police, and now you're seeing this. Is it going to change their mind, or are they just like, no, that's nothing?
I feel like they are so hypnotized, and I will say we. and I'll include myself in this because I've been guilty of this in the past as well. You get so wrapped in on a certain statement or narrative that you hold, you have like this tribal um dedication to, like you're married to it. Like you said
Hmm.
that, like if I say 1 + 1 = 3, I'm married to that statement and I
Hmm.
will never divorce from it. I'm gonna fight. I know it's fucking wrong. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fight you tooth and nail and be like, no, you're incorrect. You're saying it's two, false. It's three, and I feel like that's what we're gonna see here because the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
Remember when I said, dude, this is just the beginning. I knew some shit was gonna happen like this
Yeah.
because
But
it's
I have,
just how the world works now. How media controls everything. How social media, where you can just like, dude, Facebook is terrible. It's all just toxic, all negativity, but it
Mhm.
grinds you in there, makes you keep scrolling and scrolling. So, and you know what's so weird about this? You told me about this 2 days ago, and we said we are gonna do this podcast, right? I haven't seen this video shared once on my timeline.
Same.
Once,
Yep.
once, man. Like,
But
what
here's
is
my
this?
question to you then. Here's my question.
What's up?
So, what do you think would have happened if, we saw George Floyd incident and then 2 days after that, this body cam footage? Do you feel like there would have been a change if there was no riots or anything like that?
I feel like the view of some people. I think the majority would have still would have been furious, and it still would have sparked protests and riots in a global form. But I don't think the defunding of policemen thing would have been so strong. I think their numbers of like people that are so on we're not I don't want to say sides here or against the police. I
Hmm.
think it'll be percentages or less because you can make a valid point that hey, they were complying, they were being polite, they were attempting to calm him down, and
Hmm.
then something switched.
Yeah.
um Dude, it's so hard to that's a really hard question
Yeah,
to
it is.
answer
Yeah.
because just what we've been living through in the past 3 months has been insane. And you know what? You're saying that if the body cam footage would have surfaced, right? That's what you're saying.
Hmm.
Yeah, dude. I actually don't have a good answer for you. I don't.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I want to ask our the people that listen, like, do you feel like if the media had shared this side without any type of, oh, we're trying to create this narrative, like if they had just come forth, said, hey, we do have this, if it would have made a difference, if it would have, put it to where, yeah, we still want the justice because, someone still died, but would it have sparked this this national riot?
Yeah,
And that's the thing that, it's kind of like one of those, well, it's too late now type deals. Like,
it is. Damage is
I
already done.
remember, yeah, and I remember whenever, because I listened to the podcast you did with your friend McGregor, and you had asked him, what would you do, or do you think they're going to pull something out for the trial like that's going to completely unravel everything? And this is that catalyst that y'all were talking
This
about.
is that. Yeah, this is that ace.
Hmm.
This is that ace. Um,
So,
if you're just listening, just tuning into the podcast, you can find this video that we're talking about in the description. Okay, so you're not just too lost about what's going on, and please share the video because everyone deserves to have all the information. Just don't look at one side of it. Look at everything and generate an educated and a factual opinion on this. Okay, because it's touchy, but it needs to be said and it needs to be shared. Okay, and everything. But yeah, dude, this is that ace in the hole.
yeah,
Well, not in the hole, but this is that ace
this is their trump card.
yeah, dude. But why do you think the media did not cover this? Let's just assume that they had the footage. Why do you think they did not?
I mean, it's simple, especially with a lot of these news medias. and I hate saying, left, right, anything like that. Like it sucks saying that, like Democrat, Republic, whatever. But a lot of the Democratic Party wants to put people in a type of oppression because it's going to rely on the government more. Like I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory, whatever, but this is just my thought. Like the reason why they didn't do this is because, well, we're trying to paint a narrative right now. We're trying to right now say like these people are bad, these people are being oppressed, and we're going to show the world. Now with this footage, it's showing a different picture, and a lot of times like they don't want you to see the full picture. They just want you to see what they want you to see. And I think really it's just out of, hey, what's gonna give us more ratings? This disarmed black man being killed, or hey, this guy was resisting, and this is what led to that.
Yeah.
So what's gonna get more views?
Well, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
gotta,
sure.
I gotta read some more, look at some other stuff. But oh, yeah, I think it's time to go. Your thing shut off. But it is it's making this world that's already a fucking mess, especially with this explosion that just happened as well.
Yeah,
Um, even crazier,
yeah.
even crazier. But any last words, man, before we end this week's coffee time?
I really do want our listeners to take both sides because, of course, me and Captions, we do have different opinions. We have different experiences in life. We see this thing differently, and which is completely fine. But, take a look at the footage, form your own opinions, and really ask yourself, like, what is going to be the next step? And really reflect, like, even if you lose friends because you have a different view on them, like, it doesn't matter. Like you need to be able to formulate your own ideas without the influence of others.
Certainly, and prepare yourself because if you thought it was bad now, it's about to get a lot worse. I think we were cruising into the eye of the storm in a little bit because everything that the media is just kind of dry on it. But now this is just gonna escalate or just spark that fire again. But all right, guys, that was this week's coffee time. Like we always say at the end of coffee time, you are what you listen to, and you listen to coffee time, so we like you. But in all seriousness, check out this video. Viewer discretion advised. Okay, we're gonna link it below. Comment down your opinions and just share it. Find someone and talk about it, or just talk to us. DM us on Instagram at Coffee Time Podcast _. Until next time, you are what you listen to. Bye bye.